Good morning, everyone. It's time for another fun-filled episode of the Coffee Chat Show. Happy Saturday morning. It's a balmy 4 degrees in Vermont this morning.
Ooh.
So exciting. Um, I did not set an event, so there are no notifications going out. So I think the page notifies people when we're live, actually, whether there's an event or not. So we'll give
Yes.
it a few minutes and see if people catch up with the fact that we are online. Tracy is having technical difficulties, so she's just showing up in our green room as a black box. So we have her not showing up to you guys, but she can hear us, I think. Hi, Dodie. Good morning. All right, people are starting to roll in. I would suggest that you grab a notebook because I am actually going to give you an assignment. I'm going to be a little bit more intentional about the Coffee Chat Show, and maybe we're going to give you some homework or an assignment every week if you care to accept it. So, Karen and I were just talking about this. Well, actually, we've been talking about it this week. Tracy and I talk about it a lot. And we've talked about it a lot on this show. What you have in your life right now is a product of what you brought there and what you manifested. So it's a product of what you attracted to yourself. And then if you want to attract something better, you would have to start raising your vibe, your attraction point, right? Because we talk about this a lot. The attraction point for you in your life. So your magnet, what you're pulling is how you feel in the moment. And that's a moment by moment thing, right? We've talked about the scale of emotions and how like apathy and depression is like at the bottom and euphoria and joy is at the top, and how you get from there to there is in every moment you choose a better thought. Gabby Bernstein has a great, I forget what, I think it's called Super Attractor. One of her
Yeah.
books talks a lot about that. I love it. I love the way she just breaks it down. Of course, Esther Hicks and Abraham, they talk all about this kind of stuff. There's plenty of people out there, that make their living teaching the law of attraction. So plenty of sources where you can go and learn more, dig in, etc. Good morning, Janet. For my purposes this morning, we're going to give you a little tutorial on how to get out of where you are now and get into where you want to be. So if your emotion, if how you feel in this moment is your point of attraction, then how you feel in the next moment will be the next point of attraction, right? So you don't go from feeling really shitty and awful to joy and euphoria. You probably go from like feeling shitty and awful to annoyance to anger to mild disengagement to irritation to acceptance. You go up, right? You don't go from the mud puddle to, you know, I don't know, the Taj Mahal. Just like it's not like a boom. It doesn't work like that. Because in every moment you're making a decision. In every moment you're deciding, I'm here right now. This is what I have in front of me. How am I responding to that? I'm here right now. This is what I have in front of me. How am I responding to that? I'm here right now. This is what I have in front of me. How am I responding to that? So everything I see right now, everybody in my life, everything I have right now, my bank balance, my career, all of it is a product of past set points of attraction. How do I know this? Because it's here. And the universe brings you what you focus on, and what you attract to yourself is what you get. So, first of all, first point to write down in your notebook, if you got one or a piece of paper, you get what you expect. So expect the best. You get what you expect. Write it down. You get what you expect. You get what you expect. So if I expect that I'm going to get stuck in traffic, guess what? I will. If I expect that people in the coffee line are going to be shitty, they will. If I expect that I will get a happy financial surprise, I will. you get what you expect. So expect the best. That's number one. Number two is how you feel in the moment is your attraction point. Okay. That's your magnet. So just picture yourself like a big old fashioned, horseshoe magnet, one of those really powerful ones. And how you feel right here, right now, that's what you're pulling to you in every moment. That's what's happening. So if you want to pull something better, you have to be able to feel better. You have to be able to pick the next best feeling, the next best thought. Karen and I have been practicing this week being supremely satisfied in every moment. And because we were reading about this and we were listening actually to an Esther Hicks little clip of Abraham, and they were talking about being supremely satisfied in every moment. And I'm going to let Karen give you her take on that in 1 second. It's more difficult than you think. And so the idea is if you can be supremely satisfied in every moment, then how you feel, right, is better, is elevating. And then you can have a better attraction point, a better set point. So if you can do that simple thing, and they talk about like pick a moment, right? If you can't get to that feeling in what's happening right now, pick a moment where you felt incredibly just satisfied, meaning there was nothing for you to do, there was nowhere for you to go, you were just like, I don't know, maybe sitting with your coffee, looking at a sunset, you were with somebody you care about, enjoying a moment. Like there's a feeling that comes with those moments. And if you can access that feeling and feel it, this helps you to rise. So Karen, go ahead. You must have, well, hold on. Laura, good morning. I haven't seen you in forever. Nice to see you here.
Laura, good morning.
Okay, Karen, go ahead. Shoot.
All
what
right,
do you got?
two things. First, I got a question for you. So I'm going through something right now, and this sounds really silly, but it's a big deal to me. I'm supposed to go to Colorado in a couple of weeks, and there's a passage from Denver to Aspen, and like everyone, this taxi driver got it in my head a couple of weeks ago, like, oh, if you're driving, you're going to be delayed. So I'm supposed to go on the 13th with my best friend, and I keep thinking we're going to be delayed. We're not going to be able to get there that day. The trip's going to be delayed. Like, and I know better, and I keep trying to redirect my brain, but when you're constantly thinking that, like, what do? Do you just keep telling yourself a lie till you don't feel it?
So
like I keep thinking this.
Well, so you'll get exactly that if
I know
get you out of that, right? Okay, so you have 17 seconds. So once a thought approaches and you have it, 17 seconds is all it takes for it to bring another thought like it. Okay, so it's like, so the thought comes by, and then you got to put a new thought in there, like right away. You got to like negate, what's trying to show itself.
Like a new thought, like, no,
You
we're going to
need a
make it
new
there on
thought.
time, or no, like, no, this is a great.
Well, if you're worried that, let's keep in mind there's a cross here between intuition about delays and, okay, so the way to get around that, to make sure that whatever will happen is divinely ordered, is my trip is in divine order and the timing is divine timing. So instead of thinking that you'll be delayed, you could just say, I know everything's going to be under divine timing for this trip. And then I'll give you, when we give them their homework assignment, you can do it too, but you can make one about this trip and you can just read it every morning from now until you go. A little paragraph, the glory story, right? We'll just have you make up a little story about how the whole thing is going to roll. So when when you have a thought and you're not sure if it's an intuitive thought trying to save you from something, or if it's a negative thought trying to attract something that you don't want, you can simply go to divine order, right? Because divine order is the universal right order of everything, and it's for everyone's highest good. So you can just simply say, whatever the thing is, you can say, this situation is in divine order. I know that everything's going to be in divine order with this trip. All flights are in divine order. I'll try, whatever it is. Relationships, anything like that. You
Yeah.
can always call in divine wisdom, divine love, and divine order. All three very powerful, universal forces that can be called in to help sort things out. And you can just make affirmations in regards to that. I'm connecting to divine wisdom. I know what to do and I do it. All my travel is in divine order. I know where to go and I go there. I know where not to go and I don't go there. I'm following my intuition. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do and I do that. Those types of things.
Yeah. That makes sense. What we listened to the other day was interesting because there was a line that really stood out to me, and it said, "You're driven because you're sought understanding from humans that because your source would never drive you. You're driven because you care what other people think." That really hits.
Right?
The whole society. I don't care what people think. Don't care what people think. But if you're driven, you care what people think because your source would never drive you. You would just feel satisfied, and then you want to do the
right,
things that you want to do.
right. And that just right there is like a whole, I mean, we could probably talk for like the rest of the year just on that point alone. Because how many of us are how many of us are satisfied in every moment? How many of you are just truly so satisfied with whatever it is, how you are with your life, all of that? How many of us? Not me. Not me at all. And I work on it. I'm conscious of it. But I happen to be in a little conundrum about my work and my career right now, and I am struggling every day. I feel very stuck in a particular situation, and I tried to extract myself, and it didn't work the way I wanted to. And I'm kind of caught like Karen is with her trip. I don't know if I'm supposed to just extract myself sort of by force or if this is a spiritual lesson for me to just sit here and wait on the will of heaven. I've pulled runes, I've pulled tarot cards, I've pulled angel cards. I keep asking for, and what I keep getting is be still and wait on the will of heaven, which annoys the living bejesus out of me because I am the least patient person on the planet, probably. So I'm really in the middle of this right now. And as Karen and I are like digging into things to talk to you guys about, and we're looking at this whole satisfaction thing, it's like, wow, I could just be satisfied for what is. And by the way, you guys, I know this, like in my head, I know when you're caught up in something, like I would tell you, start blessing it, be grateful, all this kind of stuff. I know all these things in my head, but right now on a day to day, and that's my husband posting things because the poor guy, he's watching me go around here day after day right now, and I am suffering. And I am suffering by my own hand because there's nothing really wrong. I just don't like not knowing the answer. I don't have the answer. And in my head, I know I'm not supposed to have the answer right now. And I know I'm supposed to wait. And I know I'm supposed to be grateful in this moment and be satisfied in the moment. But man, if I swore on here like I do in my real life, but I keep you guys from that, I'd be giving you a whole string of probably words you never heard before for how I feel about all this. And so it strikes me that what can be done is to turn it into a teachable moment, right? To let you guys know, like there are times where you have what you have, and it might even be great what you have. Like what I have right now is not a bad thing. It's just I feel like it should be a different direction maybe, but I don't know for sure. So I'm reluctant to jump off the cliff and build the plane on the way down, because what if that's my will and not God's will for me? And so I don't have the answer to that. For really one of the first times in my life, I don't have the answer right now about like, is it God's will or my will or God's will? I don't have the answer. So I am very much trying to practice what I'm telling you, which is to choose satisfaction in the moment and choose joy and choose gratitude and bless all the people involved in this situation and just trust the process. My husband told me last night, I wish that you could just trust the process, like, because I hate to see you, you know, like you are right now. I hate to see you this upset and struggling, struggling in your head with all this. And he's right. It's easier said than done. So I get it. When we ask you guys to do things on this show and we tell you, this is the way out of your difficulty, it's not easy what I'm telling you.
No.
Here's the thing about the law of attraction stuff. There's people out there teaching this saying, we're just here to be joyful and have a good experience. And that's all true. Like Source wants us to be happy. God, Source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, we're here to be happy, to choose things and not choose other things and be joyful and have fun. It's not easy because we grew up thinking a different way, a lot of us. I actually grew up thinking in the right ways, but it didn't make it any easier. All it did was give me the tools that came more inherently, than they did for others. It's hard work, and it's not hard work like you're in a factory and you're standing on your feet 17 hours a day. It's not hard work like that. It's hard work because your biggest battle is inside yourself, always. Your biggest war, Gurdjieff said this, your biggest war is for you to go to war on the parts of yourself that don't work or that aren't serving where you want to go. And that's hard work because that's second by second work. That's not, that's like Karen saying she knows better. She's practiced the other way. She understands it, and she still is having that thought coming at her, minute by minute. And she is gonna now, choose a different, make a new thought to counteract that other thought. So that's a real thing. The 17 seconds, by the way, when you have a thought, you have 17 seconds before that thought has a strong enough little pull to get another thought that's just like that one. So when I say that it's hard work to change your life, that's what I mean. Because literally you have to be the police inside your head. Like, oh, do I want more of that? Nope. Okay, let's make a different thought then. Tracy, I guess, was having technical difficulty. She's saying release the mediocrity and step out into something new. Sometimes you have to step out of your comfort zone, and she's right. And then other times, whatever's next for you might not be ready yet, or there might be something that you're missing. So there are times like what I'm in the middle of now where I just have to wait, because whatever it is, it's not the time yet. And I know that part with great certainty. It's not time yet. It's not helping me on the daily, because on the daily I'm still irritated as all hell. So it's, that war with yourself, that's a real thing. Karen, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a physical war. If anyone's going through physical ailments, and I keep bringing them on. I'm in pain this morning. I had a shitty night's sleep. So what is that? Why am I bringing that on? I don't know. You don't have to know the answer right away either. Like if you're very intuitive or very self-aware and you're just in a time where you're like, I don't know why I'm doing this. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching way too much TV too. That's another thing. I keep telling myself during this whole broken foot thing, like, I'm gonna read. And I'm just scrolling through my phone and watching TV.
I've been
Like
doing
I
the
just
same,
gotta
scrolling
get out of
through,
this
like
rut.
wasting
I'm
time.
in a
Yeah, no,
rut.
I hear you. Sometimes keep in mind though, if we're going by like so if we're where we are and we're feeling a particular way where we are, our feelings are basically responding to where we are. So we'll use you not feeling well this morning, right?
Yes.
You don't feel great. So you're sitting there not feeling great and you're responding to not feeling great because that's what's happening now. So
Circling.
you're right. So you're responding to not feeling great. And like when I had that headache the other day, right? It's like I'm responding to not, we all do this, by the way. You, here's what is. I have feelings about what is because I'm sitting in the middle of it. And it's really hard not to have feelings about where I'm sitting because I'm freaking sitting there. However, every time I have a feeling about what is, what do you think I'm bringing? More of what is.
Same feeling.
So it's like we have to audit ourselves, right? Because where we want to strive to get to is to have the feeling response to where we want to go. So, and that's hard to do, especially when you don't feel well. When you don't feel well and you don't feel well, you're sitting in, I'm not feeling well, and you're having thoughts about not feeling well. So it's really difficult to sit in, I'm not feeling well, to say, oh, I feel great. So it's like thought, feeling, word, and then that makes action, right? So this is where affirmations come in handy, because if you definitely, are having a thing, you can make some affirmations about what you want to have, and then you can start saying those, because law of repetition, as you sit there and repeat and repeat and repeat, you will have a response to the words that are coming out of your mouth. And then that will help you get a little bit higher. And then when you're a little bit higher and you do that again, that'll help you get a little bit higher. And that's how that's how we get out of what we're seemingly sitting in, is we have to speak our way out. We have to think our way out. We have to feel our way out. So most people can't go from feeling, let's just, again, you're feeling really yucky. It's really difficult to go from feeling really yucky to just deciding that you feel amazing when you still seemingly feel really yucky.
Right.
It's less difficult to make 5 affirmations saying I'm vibrant, healthy, and whole, I'm pain-free and problem-free. Like, that's a little easier. You can write that down, and then you can just start saying them over and over and over and over and over and over. And probably within 5 minutes or so, you feel a little better.
Yeah.
And then you repeat, right? And then we go up. So your words have a lot of power, both to yourself and to the ethers, because source is always listening, right? Source is going to give you what you ask for, and how you ask is by how you feel. So if you feel angry or sick, you're asking for more of that, right? And we've talked about this before, like what you resist persists, which I am so smack in the middle of right now. Yeah. Smack, boom, in the middle. And I have spent years studying how to not have that happen. Still sitting here. I know better. I know the things to say. I even know some of the things to do. And I literally, at the end of every day, I say, wow, I blew that because all I did today was bitch about this. Or I just went off the rails about this whole thing. So this is what I mean by hard, right? When everyone says like, oh, the law of attraction, yes, it is a wonderful thing. And it's a wonderful reality. But if you don't know how to use it, if you don't have a strategy to use it,
Yeah. It's
because you're going to hit the wall. I mean, there's going to be a place where you hit the wall. And what happens when you hit the wall? Like, what are you going to do then? If you don't have a strategy, if you don't have tools, if you don't know that you can make affirmations, you can write a glory story, you can do a gratitude, if you don't have any of those tools, what are you going to do when you hit the wall? You're going to be stuck there in where you're already stuck. You're going to stay there. So my homework, if anyone chooses to accept it, is number one, start to ask yourself as often as you can throughout the day, how do I feel right now? How am I feeling? Am I feeling happy? Am I sad? Am I joyful? Am I annoyed? What's the next best thing I could feel? Let's just say you're feeling annoyed. You're at your desk. People are pissing you off. You're irritated. How could I get a little higher? I could text my girlfriend. I could do an act of kindness for someone. I could watch, I don't know, a little clip of something that makes me laugh. I could, look at cats online, make me happy. Like whatever it is for you that could bring you up just a little bit higher. And it's like a ladder, right? It's like a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher and a little bit higher. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, okay, I feel a lot better. It's not so bad. So just keep a little journal this week if you're up for it. Maybe day by day, maybe if you're doing your gratitudes at night, or throughout the day, like, how am I feeling now? Maybe a couple times a day, maybe in the morning, maybe at night. Just start to know, because here's the thing. If you don't notice, if you're not even conscious, you have no hope of creating a strategy for change. If you have no idea what's going on with you and how you are being in each moment, there's no hope for you to be any other way. And then if you choose to take it one step further, you could write yourself a glory story every morning. This is another tool that I teach that we use. That's like a paragraph of how you want the day to go. And Karen could do one for her trip. So if you have a trip coming up, or you have a meeting or a presentation, or, if you have like some big event coming up and you really want to knock it out of the park, it's like a little story, like as if it already happened. My presentation goes really well. I was amazing. I gave good information. People paid attention. I engaged the audience. Everyone was grateful. They asked great questions. I knew my shit. I was on target. Karen's could be like, my trip is amazing. Everything is in divine order. Everything's under divine timing. I don't worry, stress, or strain. Flights are in divine order. Baggage is in divine order. Transportation's in divine order. Carrie and I are happy. We're having a great time. Whatever it is. Yeah. So, and that's work. That's what I mean about work.
That's work.
Yeah, everything takes work. So it's like, but being sick, pathetic, and unhappy is also work.
Yep, it's the same amount of work.
Right. So it's like, there's a thing out there that says like, choose your hard, right?
Yeah.
Like I've been using this acupressure mat every night, and it is uncomfortable, and I have to lay on it for 9 minutes, and it hurts.
Yeah.
And my husband's like, why are you doing that? And I'm like, because my back is not bothering me. I've been using this thing for a week, and it's like, it's great. It's working. And I'd rather choose my pain than have it served up on me without my choice, right? That's the same thing an athlete faces when they're training for the Olympics, right? Like, choose your hard. You can either discipline yourself every day with making yourself a glory story and being grateful and making a list and whatever it is that you need to do to run yourself so that you are on point during the day. You can either do that, or you can have the heart of responding to every freaking thing that's getting thrown at you, and you're all uncentered and you're all upset, and that's also work. And that puts a lot of strain on your body and your psyche and everything else. I'd rather choose my hard. I'd rather choose my disciplined like construct and say what I'm going to spend my time working on, rather than, working on running around to doctor's appointments or taking medicine or whatever, right? Like, you choose it. But you're not going to get away from the hard.
Right.
And there's probably people out there that will say it doesn't have to be hard, and I'm sorry, but I will continue to disagree. And it doesn't have to be hard like it's awful and oh my God, it's like we have to climb Mount Everest. It doesn't have to be that kind of hard. What I mean when I say hard is it's work, and you have to do it consistently. And that's how you make lasting change. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. They just want to say, oh, it'll be glorious. And if you just say 72 affirmations, your life will change and it'll be wonderful. And okay, cool, go do that. And tell me how that works. If you do the 70 affirmations 3 times and then you stop, you tell me what happens after that. Where's the strategy? And a strategy is work. And that's what I mean by hard. So hard doesn't have to be awful. It's intentional. It's strategic. It's an executable plan whereby you achieve particular results by your own hand because you said so. That's the kind of hard that I'm talking about. So we're going to not run terribly over like we have been the last 2 weeks. So we'll leave you with, start asking yourself how you feel as often as you can throughout the day, and see if there's anything you can do to choose a little bit of a higher feeling if you're low on the scale. And, glory stories are a wonderful thing. In fact, I'm going to write one myself about this whole situation, which I haven't done. So I'm going to give myself my own homework. Anything you want to say, lady?
No, I hope everyone has a good weekend and start tapping into being satisfied.
Yes, and we're practicing still supremely satisfied in every moment. So you're welcome to join us with that too. We're satisfied to have spent 35 minutes with you.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great week, you guys. We'll see you next Saturday.